Hey folks, welcome back. This is Pokey from Biomassed. We are actually still in Iceland, me and Livvy. So, Fanfest actually ended yesterday, as you know, in my very exhaustive video I made. But we decided to stick around the country for a couple days to kind of check out some things and just see more of what Iceland had to offer. So, I will be going over that more towards the end of the video, but I did want to kind of cover a few Eve-related things, some things I forgot from yesterday and some new things. So, one thing that I wanted to check on is we were a little confused on where the events for Eve Vegas Eve FanFest are going to be next year. So, as you know, they are not doing a FanFest in Iceland for 2019. It's going to be the first time they haven't done it here. They will be doing it again in 2020, but they kind of wanted to try next year to spread it out a little bit, do smaller events but in different parts of the world, so people had a better chance to go and actually try and check it out. Which is nice for people like me in North America because traveling to Iceland is expensive. So it'd be good to kind of have stuff more locally. So I was kind of just throwing names out that I thought I remembered yesterday. I forget what I said, but I don't think it was entirely correct. So I did verify which locations they're going to be doing next year, or at least this year rather, for 2018. So Sydney, Australia, there's one in Amsterdam, there's one in Berlin, there's one in London, and there's one in Las Vegas. And they're thinking about doing one on the East Coast of the United States. That's not set in stone yet, but they are working on it. So those are the locations where you're going to have CCP run events that are similar to FanFest. I've actually been to E-Vegas before. I forget what year, several years ago. It was a lot of fun. Similar to FanFest, a little different in some ways, but it was a really good time. So, like I said before, Livvy and I are going to be in E-Vegas this year, 2018. If you want to go, buy your tickets now, because when we went and checked last night after we talked about it, the super early bird and the early bird tickets were already sold out, and we had to pay the higher price to get like the normal tickets, and then the regular tickets go on sale. So they're going really, really quick. So if you're interested in doing E-Vegas, do it right now. It's not too expensive, except if you live in the area, but you know the event tickets are going very quickly. It's a much smaller venue than what you're going to see here in Iceland, so keep that in mind. The other thing I forgot to mention in the last video, so when I went to the CCP studios, I actually stopped by the Eve Monument. If you're not familiar with the Eve Monument is, for Eve's 10-year anniversary, they built a small monument behind CCP studios, and if you had an Eve account that was active during that time, your name of your character would be placed on the monument. So I was one of those people. I had an active account when that time came. And so we walked over there on our way to the to the studio, and there was a really nice guy there, another player. I didn't catch his name, but he was helping me out with finding on the app where my character name was. So it was actually kind of on the corner, like it was actually really easy to find, which was nice. So we got a good picture of it. So that was really cool. It's kind of cool to kind of see this pretty cool monument, you know, with my character name, you know, immortalized on it. So that was pretty badass. So props to that guy. Didn't catch his name, but you know he was really good to help us out there. So that's kind of it for CCP news. It was an awesome trip. You know, I look forward to E-Vegas. It's gonna be pretty cool. It's really neat. So that's kind of what we did with the 3 days. We were going to be here tomorrow, and then we leave about midday on Monday. So what we did today is we actually headed out to a hot spring that's located kind of near the airport we came in. And it's called the Blue Lagoon, and it's kind of this partially man-made, partially natural hot spring. Because you know when you're in Iceland, you got to do something like that. So it was really, really nice. Like the water is kind of this like between like 95 and 100 degrees, so it's really warm. They're really sophisticated, very smooth moving. They had the whole thing down to science. It was just a really good experience. It was kind of cool because you'd kind of be walking through the water and you find these pockets of hot and cold water depending on where you were moving. So you kind of ended up drifting around, you know, to different areas of the pool. And it's really big, bigger than you might expect. So we spent probably like 3.5 hours in the water there. But my skin feels fantastic. It was very relaxing, really good experience. And then we actually went to the restaurant they had there, and it was called the Lava, I think. And that was really, really good, and surprisingly, like it's a more of a higher class place, so you'd expect a higher price tag. But I've been to places in the U.S. that are kind of similar, and it was actually about the same price. It worked out to be. So everything else in this country is obscenely expensive, but the higher level cuisine is actually, pretty on par with the United States. So that was really good. If you're in Iceland ever, I check it out. Like it was well worth the money. I forget what the total came out to, but for two people, but it was pretty reasonable for everything that was included. So I would check it out, see what the pricing looks like if you're going to be in the area. Really good experience. So the hot spring is pretty cool. Our day is open tomorrow. There's some local landmarks in the area we'll probably be checking out. So we'll get some good pictures, and that'll all be going up in a big video and photo blog at the end of all this. But since we're remote, trying to do that stuff on my little laptop is just not feasible. So you'll see a lot of the good footage coming in, once I get back in the United States. But for right now, we'll be doing this. So that's all I really have for today, guys. I appreciate you tuning in. Like I said, we'll give you an update tomorrow, and if anything cool happens, I will let you know. But that being said, have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.